here. There we go. We got that going. And we are rolling along. If you the text hasn't gone out yet to you. It went out to the, or actually it did go out. It went out to you all earlier. Um, quick reminder, if you haven't already done so, if you have, I appreciate it. The student survey, please fill that out. Uh, I don't know who has, who hasn't. It's a great help. Many of you are graduating, you're leaving. You've had the benefit of what people have built in on those surveys. It allows us to know what we're doing right, what could use improvement. And so it helps grow Southern Tech. So take a minute, look at those links, click on those. You can do them on a phone, tablet, whatever. And again, I don't know who fills them out, what's done. I haven't looked at the questions in a while. I don't even know what's being asked, but please, really would like to know the feedback. It's your chance to make an influence on what happens with and for future students. So take time to do that. All right, really would appreciate that. So we are going to start off this morning with our favorite screen shares. So let me move this out of the way. There we go. Oh, it keeps coming back there. Okay, there we go. So we've got that going there. We are going to view this. No, I don't want to view it as a student. I just want to view it. Reminder, uh, we are getting down here. We are on Tuesday, our last day on Thursday. Again, that is going to be a recorded session. That is just basically going to be a reminder on how to do the final exam. That is open. You are welcome to do that at any point. Any and all assignments have to be in by 10 o'clock, not 11:59, okay? 10 o'clock. So make sure if you're used to running that clock out at night, 10 p.m., that is it. Uh, no emails, no systems down, no this. Unfortunately, 10 o'clock. I can't change that, okay? It's not that I'm not willing to. I don't have control over that. I do not work in IT. I don't have the control over that. Okay, that is not my call. 10 o'clock, what happens if you're in something, you will be booted out. So that's why I keep emphasizing that. That is beyond my control. 10 o'clock, what happens? We start finalizing grades. Then this class will be wiped out for the next class that comes in on Monday. All right. So we are in week 4. Here we go. We are down to Tuesday. So this is our soft skills and leadership action. Again, we have you speak with the people who are in management. And part of that is so that you can find out what it's like when you move up and, things like that. And these are some examples of what you could encounter. Please watch the videos. Right here, a reminder, you must discuss both scenarios. So make sure you mention scenario 1, this is what I would do. Scenario 2, this is what I would do. Remember, on the job, you are going to have to do things completely. You're going to have to read and follow written instruction. There's a reason why things are written here. A big part of people being let go is they are not following direction. Everything's not going to be told to you. You are going to be sent emails. You're going to be handed pieces of paper. You are expected to follow these things. Everything's not going to be shown directly to you. You are going to have to be signing things off that you understood and will follow things. So please get used to written format. So this is why we do say discuss both, do this, and you lose points for not being detailed. So that detail, that makes the difference. So do this now. As we go back here, remember, tomorrow is your informational interview where you talk to that person and it was in this class that it was mentioned somebody had recently moved up into management. And again, I really like that idea. This is going to change, which is part of, mentioning on those surveys things that you would like to see change. Because of you, this assignment is going to change. We are changing this assignment. This is how we grow. This is how we help students. So big round of applause for one of your classmates that is changing the course of how students learn here. This is a big deal. So thank you. That is a big deal. This is how we grow and learn. So you teach us as we teach them, and it makes things better. This is how we make better employees and soon to be better bosses out there. You want better bosses because you will either be one or you're going to be working for one. And if you've never had a bad employer, you don't want one, because there are some that you just wonder how they got there. All right. So that's where we're headed there. No big deal. I got everybody's mock interviews. So I will be putting those out there today. And so you'll be able to see them. Once I've got them, I will send a text message out. I'm not doing a text message and an email. I'm going to send a text message and let you know they're out there so you can look at those. I'm anxious to see them. I have them. I have not looked at them. So you'll see exactly what they put on them. And because I don't believe in putting a grade out there and you not seeing what they put. Okay. I'm going to see it. You're going to see it. You're going to know exactly what you had. All right. And then, of course, Thursday, you have that career plan project. If you've done it, go ahead and put it in. Don't wait. There's no reason to wait. It's not like you're saving anything. Use that template. If you don't download it or whatever, just type it in. My goals, put your long-term goals, current skills, hard and soft skills. List them right off your resume. Okay. You have that resume, so list them right off of it. Okay. Um, Understand what skills are transferable. Okay, what that just means, make sure your soft skills are in there. Those are your transferable skills. And those are really ones that they want to see on top of those hard skills. They want to know you can communicate. They want to know that you have the ability to work with others in that, because it doesn't matter how much your mad skills you have. If you can't communicate effectively, you can't be on a team. Okay. If you're sitting there going, oh, that thing's about to attack you, that doesn't help. You need to go, that thing's about to attack. Make sure you have, something there. Da, da, da. You need to be able to, you know, let people know what's going on. You need to be able to say, hey, we have a better method for that. Voice your opinions. Those things are important to do. You know, those things are very, very important to do. So please make sure you let people know you have thoughts. Your thoughts are important. Value yourself and your opinions and capitalize on those. All right. Everybody feeling good today? Yes. I see those emojis. So come on, wake up, folks. You're almost to the end. How many people are starting to feel better about themselves, feeling a little more confident? Yeah, good. All right, because you're doing that. Anybody get contact cards? Anybody have any business cards? Nope. Okay. Look on the App Store. Look on, the Android, the Google Store there. You can get digital cards. Okay. You know, put forth the effort. Your career's dependent on you. If it doesn't go anywhere, you can't blame. You can't say this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, this is going. No, your success depends on you. You can do this. Push and drive. You are in control. All right. Okay. This final exam, I'm going to show this because remember Thursday, When I send out that text and that email, hint, hint, your participation question is going to be in that email and on that text. Hint, hint, everybody understand what I mean? That the question is actually going to be in the email and on the text. Everybody got that? That is going to be going out promptly at 9 a.m. The text will be going out. The email will be going out probably maybe even late Wednesday. Okay. So if you see the email, you will have all the information to go ahead as soon as that assignment opens, which will be 12:01 to get in there. The reason why I'm doing this, I want to make sure everybody has plenty of time to finish everything. Don't leave anything undone because that can cause a big drop at the final point. Okay, so please don't do that. You've worked too hard. All right, so you'll see that when you go in here and you do this exam, okay, this is 10%. Okay, at one point, this exam was 40% of a grade. We changed this. We wanted the assignments of that to mean more because that's what you're spending more of your time in. How many people just don't do good on tests? They do the work, but then they blow it on a test. Do I have any of those in here? Yeah, it's not right. You're not studying for a test, okay? Meaning you're not just in there to, I gotta memorize, gotta memorize, gotta memorize, gotta memorize. Notice I didn't tell you memorize this. I just said it's going to be on the test, okay? What this means is I don't expect you to memorize everything for this test, but you need to know what's available, where it's available, okay? Like this, psychological nuances for the people meet for the first time. Okay, you may not know exactly what that means, but, okay, you have a hint. It's when you meet for the very first time. So go back on a different screen or print it out and go back into the help and then go to this final exam study guide. And you're going, something when first time they meet. What are these subtle things first time when we meet? So you're going to mold that around while this thing goes spinning, 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 spinning. And you'll notice the system starts to slow down a little bit because a lot of people put things off in other classes as well. And they're really hitting the server. And the system's going to slow down as people panic and they're trying to catch things up at the end of the class. There's a big disadvantage when people put things off here. Okay. Let's see this thing pop. And of course, the closer we get to the end, the less patient we get. Everyone excited about finishing? Excited for graduating? Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, this is getting a little much here. You can also download it here. At this rate, I could probably download it quicker. Yeah, I just downloaded it. Up here it comes. Okay, so something that when you first meet, so you would come through here. Okay, so we're looking when we first meet. So you would start coming in here. And it's a first impression. So this is when we first meet. Here, right here. Dun, 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 dun. Subjective elements are psychological nuances when people meet for the first time. Examples include, boom. If you have this open, you can find these things relatively quickly. Now, those questions pop up randomly on that test, so you might have to look all the answers are right there. And that's an example. All right, everybody got that? See how that can be used. If possible, I would print that out so you have it right there. Okay, make it available to you. All right, so that's that. And you'll do awesome. Remember, when you first get that score, it could be lower than you anticipated. Hopefully, you did do that 5 point um, extra credit. That's a half a letter grade, no matter what you get. So I hope everybody did that. You know, when given opportunities, always take them. Okay. And here we go. We're going to start the slideshow. And let me make sure that I've got this set up. That looks good. Let's see if it'll let me get out of this. Move that out of the way here. Having an issue there. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to move something over so that I can click on an OK. There we go. Now I can swap it. All right. And away we go. So starting your career. Now, like I said, these chapters all do kind of sound alike. And we are going to do blue today. And away we go. So we're going to define that professionalism, how to work in multi-generational and multicultural workplace, and talk about things that ensure a successful career. And so 1 second here. Gotta do something real quick. Do apologize. I have a runaway keyboard here. I'm trying to fix it. I do apologize for that. And we are back and rolling again. Okay, so we're going to find out what generation you're actually in. There's a little bit of a difference in working with people in different generations. And we're also going to talk about different backgrounds, things like that. And professionalism, we hear this often, and a lot of people don't realize that that is actually a soft skill. And what we learned about skills is they are things that grow with us, okay? And they're learned over time. Remember, these are things that grow. And this is our judgment. How many people have good judgment? Or they think they have good judgment? Most of the time. Not always, maybe. Okay, and it is our character. And it is the behavior expected of a person. Okay, how many people have ever felt like their character was attacked? Like their character came into question? And it's very insulting. And that cuts deep. Okay, your professionalism has a character. That's the way you carry yourself in the job, and you know certain things. And once that comes into question, we still have to be a professional about it. And your professionalism includes your workplace skills and self-management. Anybody have a temper? Any tempers out there? Sometimes people have tempers. Sometimes people cry. We have emotional people. Uh, Crying is not a sign of weakness. Sometimes that's the way people's bodies react. And it's not gender specific. We have a lot of men that cry. It's not weakness. Sometimes that's the way our bodies are programmed, and it can be embarrassing for people because they do not have control over that. Okay. So, self-management are skills that enable an individual to control personal habits. Okay. Self-management includes punctuality, being there on time. Your coworkers don't like it when you're late. They may not say anything, but they resent it because they have to do your work, or they may have to cover. A supervisor may not realize you're always being late, and they're looking for you, and they're like, oh, so and so just went over there. Dependability. They want to count on you. They need you as part of the team. If you're not pulling the weight and they're having to pick up your work, why am I doing your job and I'm not getting your pay? Has anybody ever felt that way? You're doing someone else's job for them and they're still getting the money, but you're having to do their work. Yeah, don't do it. You know, let them fail. Even if it's a friend, let them fail. Why are they making you do their work? Why is friendship one way? Let them fail. For some reason, you feel bad if you let them fail, but they don't feel bad in making you work twice as hard. Has anybody ever noticed that? We feel guilty, but they do not. How many people have noticed that? And then the first thing that happens when they fail, I thought you were a friend. Hmm, yeah. Let's go look at that definition of friendship. Remember, friends and work are not always a good thing. How many people remember I'll give you the $30 an hour or the $50 an hour? Remember that question? I'll give you $30 an hour for you and your friend, or $50 an hour by yourself. And a lot of people worry about their friend. We'll split it. So you split it, and your friend gets there and you're both working, and they decide they don't like the job 2 days later and they quit. You just cost yourself $20 an hour. They didn't like it. They quit. They didn't know you gave up $20 an hour so that you could help them out. They didn't care. You helped them out. They didn't care. We have to think about these things. Was that the right thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. There is no right or wrong answer, but you have to make those decisions. Did you make the right decision for you and your family? Those are things we have to decide. What if you did that 30-30, that person that you gave the $30 to, they got promoted, and when they got promoted, they pulled you up. So there's always things to think about. And dependability, always be dependable, always be the one to count on. How many people have problems with this one? Time management. Some of us all, or pretty much all of us, have issues with time management at a different point. There is no correct answer on how to manage your time. You have to find a way to work, okay, and get this correct. Do you do the big projects first, small projects first? I like to get my things all done and put all my free time together. I don't like my free time broken up. I want all my time together so I can do what I want. I'm a planner. I do those things. That doesn't work for everybody, but you do need to schedule things. And people go, well, then I don't get to have spontaneous fun. Well, actually, scheduling does allow for that. If your schedule doesn't allow for things to pop up, you're not scheduling correct. A good schedule always allows extra time in there for that. If you've got everything scheduled completely, you're not scheduling correct. You never schedule 100% of your time. Okay? You always have that in there. And in your schedule, you always give yourself time for self. How many people don't have time for themselves now? They're always running around. Oh, I forgot this. I got to do this. I got to do that. Make out a personal schedule. Put down all the things you can't do or can't change. You can't change your work. Put that on the schedule. You can't change certain obligations. Put those down. Then look at what you can and cannot do. And if people ask you, can you do this for me? I want you to think about the word no. And if they get mad that you can't do things for them, rethink that relationship. That's not being cold. You have to have that talk with them and say, I have to have time for me, and time for me is over time for you. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't help anybody else. Does everybody understand? If you don't help yourself first, you cannot help others. And if they won't accept that, that's their problem. Okay? Real people will come back to you. They'll understand. Okay? So this was a very hard pill for me to swallow. And I was always one that took and took and took and took. And when I said no, I found out how many people were not my real friends. And you know what? Sometimes it's good to take out the trash. Remember that. Emotional regulation, control those emotions. Anybody ever work in a customer facing place like a store or a restaurant, things like that? I think it should be law. You have to work in a restaurant or a store, or you are not allowed to go to a restaurant or store. Because if people had to work in a restaurant or store, they would treat you so much better. You should not be allowed to go into a store if you've never worked in one, because customers are rude as you know what. And the same thing in a restaurant. If you work in one of these positions, you're an angel, you're a saint, you deserve so much more. I worked in a Walmart and a Denny's, true story. The things people will do, and you put up with it. This, you should get A pluses for emotional regulation. You should be given a mansion, a yacht, and a Lamborghini, and an American Express gold card. If you could survive a year in retail sales, you should be given that. And you should be able to slap one person a day without hesitation. I'm serious. Emotional regulation, control your emotions. If somebody is treating you poorly and it's a customer, tag in another employee, okay? Remove yourself from the situation. That's how you do it. Don't stay there. Have another employee come in. You go completely away from the situation where you cannot see and hear, okay? Early on, one of the students wanted to know, what do you do to control or deal with this? Have somebody else come in and step away. If you stay there, you're going to still aggravate the situation. You understand that you're an aggravator to that person. Get out of the situation. For one thing, you can now be in harm's way. People are unstable. Do not allow yourself to be in harm's way. Ever. Don't do that. Do not retaliate if somebody's harming you. Remove yourself. Do not strike back. Defend yourself to get away. Okay? You know, always block your face, etc. Defensive, not offensive. And remove yourself. Okay? it always protect yourself. Everybody got that. Protect yourself to get away. Don't stay. Okay. Nothing in a business is worth harming yourself. Okay. I get goosebumps thinking, um, I worked, there's a reason why I moved up here. Okay. I worked just a couple of blocks from Marjorie Stoner, if you know the high school and what happened there and the situations down there. Okay. We learned a lot about emotional regulations because of everything that happened and how to deal with things, how to be defensive in that. Emotional regulations are also how do you help people go through emotional situations. Where's my vets? Where's my vet assistants in here? I know I got more than one in here. Who's going into vet assisting? Wake up, wake up. Okay, you're going to be dealing with very emotional situations. Okay, I can tell you when you're at end of life for people's pets, what you do is you're strong. You go through this. You are there. You're the rock. They leave. You go to the back. You do your emotional breakdowns. You never do it in front of the client. You think of everything. You count ceiling tiles. You do this. You're caring. You're supportive. You do this. You're emotional to the point to help them. Then you go take care of your emotions afterwards. Okay. You control those emotions. All right. And business can be very, very cold. Everybody's heard the term business is cold. Okay. That's because you have to make decisions that are based on finances. Okay. So that's what you have to do. If you put emotions in there, then that makes you not do correct decisions for the business. Okay. And that's not what a business is. There's a difference between business and friendship. So control these regulations, these emotions. All right. Remove yourself from a situation temporarily. Just say, excuse me for a moment and step out. Okay. That will help you out. That is one of the best things. Say, excuse me for a moment. And if they're still talking, say, I'll be right back. Don't look back at them. Say, I'll be right back. That's how you control that. Okay. Punctuality, be on time. Okay. Just be on time. Find a way, be on time. Because really, 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 we don't like that. Your friends don't like it. Your workers don't like it. Reliable and trustworthy. Okay. Keep one's word. Okay. If you can't get something done, don't say you will. Okay. Don't promise things you can't do. It's the worst thing in the world. If you tarnish your reputation by not being trustworthy, it'll get around. Okay. Honesty. How many people have totally messed something up at work? Just totally, completely botched it, messed something completely up. Yep. And you were honest about it and it got fixed. Now, how many people have seen somebody totally mess something up and lied about it? And it was a lot longer to fix it, and the person either lost their job or came close to losing their job because they lied. Don't do it. Just this week, I had a situation where I misgraded somebody and they asked about it. I apologize. I said, I am so sorry. Da, 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 da. Mistakes happen. And when I put the new grade in the grade book, I put a comment in there. I said, I'm leaving the old comment in because I misgraded this and I don't want it to look like this is a cover. I owned up to it. If I would have took that other comment out and just put it in there, it would have looked like the student was like, didn't have any voice in it. No, I made a mistake. Always open it up. And this, important jobs are often given to dependable employees. Now, here's the thing. You know how we talked about friends being hired at work? This is what gets me. If you are this, you are truly a dependable employee, and you get into a business where it is a lot of family or friends hired in, that may not happen. You may be passed over. If you see this happening, I want you to get out of there. Okay, don't stay in a company that you know you can't go up because you are not related or you are not the friends of the family. Okay, recognize where you are. Okay, organizing. Figure out what works for you. Not one size fits all. What works for you? Work smarter, not harder. Okay, if you have to go back and forth in a building, boom, boom. If you're going one direction, take everything that you need to one way. And when you come back, bring things back that way. And when you're over here, do everything here that you can before you go back and then do everything over here. Don't do one thing here, then one thing here, one thing here, one thing here. Do everything as efficient as you can. Okay. Prioritize, figure out what needs to be done first, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And so we talked about the regulations there. Now, generations. That's everybody born in a certain time period. And multi-generation, that's what we typically work in. You work with the people of different ages, right? Everybody work with people of different ages on their jobs and that. Everybody's different ages, right? And that's great. You learn from people who are older and younger. And so what I like is I get to find out all kinds of new music, which I love, and I hear new ideas. I don't want to hear from people my age. I know my age. I don't want to hear from them. Plus, a lot of them are just whiny. Anybody know a bunch of whiny old folks? Go ahead, you can say, yeah, I know a bunch of whiny old folks. Yeah, get off my lawn. Yeah, I don't like that, you know? I want to go out. I want to have a good time, you know? I want to have a great this, you know? It's like, you know, we drive fast cars. My whole family does. We collect sports cars. My car, I don't drive it around much because it only gets 10 miles to the gallon. It's a 75 Camaro. It's got a 350 V8. We bored out to a 400. We've chromed it. We've lowered it. We put all the air intakes underneath it. It's got what, 800 watts of sound system we've got in the back of it. You know, I want my car to boom. I want the thing to shake. And when we floor it, you know, it's going to blow you off the road, but it's got 10 miles to the gallon. I want to have fun, you know. I like to go, I like to do this and that because I learn things from different generations. So, who are the generations? We have boomers. Everybody hear the term boomers? Hey, boomer. Gen X, Gen Y, you are the millennials, and Gen Z. Every time I hear Gen Z, I think of the Z cars. If you're into cars, you know the little Zs. We have an original 240Z back when they were Datsuns. Yeah, all right. But there's another one called the silent generation. These people go all the way back to 1920 and 1939, way back, and they're still 2% of the workforce. Okay. Now, these generations are in that sheet or that help list because some of these are going to pop up on some of y'all's finals. Okay. They're retirees. Some of them are still part time. Look for them at Disney. Okay. A lot of them work there. Okay, they value tradition and history. So you're going to see how the different generations are. They believe in hard work and they're role models. A lot of them will give you a history of your jobs and your careers when you go into them. Okay, now the boomers. Let's talk about these folks here. 44 and to 64. Okay, so these people were ambitious and they have strong work ethics. But this is the hardworking, disciplined, and independent. Now they like to stick where they went. You got one job and you stuck with it at that company forever. Okay. They don't understand switching jobs. Okay. That was it. You stayed put. Now, Gen X, this is my generation, mid 60s, early 80s. Okay. We came along. Now, this is where things started changing. That's where you had, everything going on over in Woodstock, then the 70s with disco. Then when the 80s hit, we went into punk rock. Love by punk rock. I used to rock a mohawk. And you had social, economical, technical change. Now we started changing. We started becoming more practical and independent. We didn't want people telling us what to do. And we started this. We wanted balance. We didn't want to be stuck all the time with work. And this, we adapt, okay? We're self-sufficient. We can do it ourselves. We'll figure things out. So we're a little more laid back, We're chill. We're still chilling from Woodstock back here. Okay. Anybody in the millennials, 81 to 96? Any of y'all fall into this? Nope, you're younger than that. Okay, so the Gen Ys, these are 81 to 90. Oh, you're Gen Y. Okay. So you're tech savvy, you're ambitious, but you like to work with others. Okay. And you try to be efficient. You want to be flexible, and you're a little more social responsible, kind of, not always save the planet, but more social things. And you're more concerned about being out there with people. Okay. More so. Now, Gen Z, who's my Gen Zs? Y'all should be answering to one of these. So are you guys Gen Zs? Okay. Now, this is funny. Gen Zs, home computers were here before you. Okay? There's never been a time you were without home computers out there. You may not have had one, but they were always here. Cell phones were always here. You've never been without these. You didn't know a life without them. Okay? They were always there. You're digital natives is what we called it. You're independent learners. You knew these things because you grew up in your homes and everything. And you love technology in your life, meaning you like to use apps, you like to do this and that. Even though people go, oh, I hate computers, you still use them in different ways. Okay? You're adaptable to things when it comes to technology. Open to diversity means you really just don't care what people are doing. Just kind of leave me alone. Okay? And how many people would like to have their own business? Out of y'all, how many people would like to have their own business? Like, yeah, I want to do it myself. Yeah, see, yeah, back when I was, nobody wanted their own business. Nobody. Okay? You want everybody, everything equal. Quit treating everybody differently. Everything equal. How hard is that? Just everything equal. If everything's the same, there's no problem. Leave everything alone. You know, how many of y'all are creative? You like come up with things, like why not eat a hot dog, you know, and ice cream at the same time, save time, have your meal and your dessert at the same time. You come up with all kinds of stuff. So that's how we're different. You saw how strict things were. You never stepped outside of bounds at the earlier time. And now we're learning, yeah, you can enjoy things and still do everything at the same time. Now, multicultural is a little different. It's an organization or work environment of individuals from diverse backgrounds, okay? Cultures and identities. So that's what's different. Multicultural is everything. We're from different areas and thinking, cultures, everything. So we have to have what we call cultural competence. And we need to understand enough so that we can communicate, interact, and work with them without issues. How many people work with people from all different backgrounds? It doesn't matter what they are, but they're different, and it works. Now, there's been a lot of, and too much talk about woke ideas, DEI, etc. Bottom line is people work. People need to work. And when they're at work, they need to be treated as a coworker. That's it. Okay? Coworkers need to be coworkers. All right? And that's the way they are. And you need to be able to work with them. That's what work is. Okay? So be open-minded, respectful, and communicate. Don't treat other coworkers any different. Okay? Because then you start moving into legality. And those legalities have always been there before people started calling them different things. And before media started running with them, before political sides started jumping on them, those things have always been there. And those laws are still there. No matter what people are declaring, those are still out there. So let everybody holler back and forth about what's there and just know what labor laws are there. The labor laws are what protects people, and just treat people and work, because what you're going to find is some of the best ideas will always come with everyone working together. Okay? Case in point, have you ever had to work on something and you just could not figure out how to get it started? Anybody ever have to work on an assignment and you don't know how to start it? Now, how many of you went and asked somebody else? You go and ask somebody else right there. Same thing. You do that on the job. Okay. So when it says embrace diversity, don't get words confused. It means work with whoever's there. Okay. Don't let these terms get in the way of what you're hearing on any channels, anything out of any politician's mouth that they're doing for any type of ratings. Just be good to people, period. Okay? Now, we talked about how you're going to get handbooks and things at work and you're going to sign for them. These handbooks tell you discipline and termination. These go above the law, meaning whatever the law says, this goes over that. Okay? So in Florida, we're right to work. They can just fire you. That's it. You're done. Goodbye. They don't have to give you a reason. Okay? However, your handbook may say they have to give you a verbal warning, then a written warning, then a suspension and a termination. If that's what your handbook says, they have to do all that before they can fire you. Okay? Does everybody understand that? If your handbook says that, they cannot just walk up and fire you unless it is an incredible danger or something like that. This is why those handbooks are important. So if you're given one, hold on to it. That's your protection because you have a contract with them. Okay? That's why those things are important, even though they're annoying. Okay? Now, you're going to spend a lot of time at work. This is why you have to keep control over it. Continue your professional development. Always look for ways to grow. That's why you network. It never stops. That's developing your professionalism. This is why you do this. Have realistic expectations, okay? Know where you can go and respect your money, okay? Now is the time to start saving a little bit. Even if you put just $5 out of your paycheck, $10, whatever. You don't have to go big so that you're hurting. Every little bit helps, okay? 52 weeks, if you can put $10 in there every week, look how much money you have in a year. Just put it somewhere where you won't regret or not be able to get, and be a good employee. That sounds so simple, but you'd be surprised how many people will not do that. Maintain professionalism. Ex- Meet or exceed what you're expected. Some people go in there and try to figure out the least amount they can do, and then they want the most out of the job. Have positive attitude and strong work ethic. People with strong work ethics do not put out poor work ever. Communicate and work well with others. That's what collaborate's telling you. Dependable, reliable. Be open to feedback. We don't always hit the mark, but if they tell us what we did, we learn. Okay? Learn and improve. Not perfection, improvement, always. And if you see something, offer suggestions. Okay? Common elements. Okay? Think about this. If you are succeeding, how do you know you're succeeding? You're going to feel good. You're going to feel satisfied. I'm happy. This is why. You're going to grow. You are going to go further, either financially, you're going to feel more fulfilled, you're going to have more time, something. You're going to uh, have these type of things. Good relationships. Your home life is going to be better. Your work life's going to be better. Those are what we mean by relationships. You're going to feel like you're doing something. You're going to have flexibility. You're going to have more time to do this and that. And your personal growth, you're going to overall be able to do something. Okay. So now, today, I want you to find a company that you believe you would like to work in. I want you to find 3 specific details about the company. I don't want you to look for a job listing. I want you to name the company and I want you to look at it and say, here's 3 things about this company that I like. Okay? 3 things about them you like. It could be anything. I like their location. I like, the way the building looks. I like, what their statement is. Just 3 things about the company. So that this gets you into looking at different companies and figuring out why you like them. It doesn't have to be they pay well, they do this. I want you to see what it is about the cultures and things like that about the company. So it's always something else besides money. All right. Everybody understand it's not always the money. So you're starting to look at the big picture of everything. So you choose the right thing. All right. So that's it for today. And we'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I hope you have a great day and we'll see you then.